Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Baseball King Collectibles. Hi, everybody, I am the Baseball King. Welcome back to the studio once again. And for all you newcomers out there who not sure who I am and your first time viewing, I am a baseball card collector. I am a baseball card autograph collector. And I am a celebrity autograph collector. In person only. I do not do through the mail. I do not buy autographs. In person, they have to be signed in front of me only. And that's the only way I get order. As you can see in back of me, a few of them will showcase. We have Tom Selleck. Hey, look at this. Howard Stearns joining us today. Martin Short and Dennis Hopper. All very good signers. Cheap Trick, Dwight Yoakam. Who doesn't love Donnie and Marie, huh? Come on, Donnie and Marie. You know you love them. You did back in the day. Come on, you admit it. Anyway, today's show, we're going to roll back the clock to my first trade. I made a trade, my first baseball card trade. It was the spring of 1966. So let's go back. Let's get on the time machine and let's go back to Brooklyn, New York, a place where a young child made a trade with a classmate. And you can see me on the right and Stuart Gradzinski on the left. And we made a trade. It was a baseball card trade, and this is how it transpired. All right, it's 1966. The baseball card season just underway. It's March. I love that season. I knew 64, 65 was my first 2 years I collected, and in 66, I knew March. That's when the cards came out. I was always looking for them in the store, always looking. There they were finally. So I started working on the 66 set, like, I did every other year. You can only get 5 cards for whatever it is, 1 pack at a time. Nickel times. I'm buying 2-3 packs at a time. How much money did I have? Well, they gave me a quarter for lunch or something, maybe a dime to buy a lunch and 15 cents for baseball cards or whatever I had left over. It was crazy back in the day. So it came out in series. Series 1 was March. April was Series 2. May was Series 3. Going on and on. Until they got to Series 7. That's why Series 7s are very rare. Because no one was buying them by that point already. It was like summertime. Season was over. Nobody was into baseball cards no more. So it was hard to get completed series. So series 1, I needed one more card. Okay, one more card. Here's my original 66 checklist. You see, it's all checked. I got it all done. It's complete, all done. All right, my original one. I also have one, of course, a blank one, of course. But originally 66. I'm missing one card, and series 2 is out. It's like, what do I do? How am I going to get the one card I'm missing? You don't. There's no baseball card shows. There was no internet. There was nobody. There was only other people who might have had cards as for trading. So we go back 1966. I'm in the 4th grade. There's a lot of kids were collecting cards back then. 9 years old. I was 9 going on 10. And a lot of kids were collecting cards already at that age, which, I guess that was the norm. There was nothing else. We had no major toys. It was inexpensive. We all loved baseball. We all played ball in the park all day long. It was a different world living in Brooklyn back in 1966. So I needed one card. I needed Merit Renew. Okay? I'll show you the card. I needed this guy. Merit Renew. All right? Now, journeyman, he didn't, he was in the league a couple of years. He had a card in 62, a card in 64. His rookie was 62, 64 with the Cubs. And 65, no card. 66, his last card. All right. He bounced around. He didn't stay in the majors long. 67, I think he was involved in a beanball war in the minor leagues. And somehow he got involved. He was the catcher. And he got cracked across the head with a bat, kind of like that Roseboro Koufax moment. And it got him good where he had a skull fracture, a blood clot, and he was out the entire season. It was just like early May, and he was out the whole year. And he was just trying to get back to the majors. So it was a big setback for him. And he did get back to the majors briefly in 69 with the Pilots, Seattle, and I believe. And that was it. It was out of baseball after that, soon after that. So I needed Merit Renew. How am I getting Merit Renew? Who is he? I don't even know who he is. He's the backup catcher for California, for all God's sake, I think Bob Rogers was the catcher back then. So anyway, I'm hanging out with my friends. We're just looking through our cards and stuff. And there's one of my friends. He's got Merit Renew. I go, oh my God, you got Merit Renew. I never even saw the card before. I saw it for the first time I saw this. I was like, wow, that's Merit. That's what it looks like. I didn't even know what it looked like. There was nowhere to compare it to anywhere. So, wow. His name was Stuart Gradzinski. In my 4th grade class, fifth grade, sixth grade. There's a picture I show my fifth grade class because I didn't have a fourth grade class. We didn't have a class picture back then, only fifth and sixth grades. So I'm on the right, he's on the left, I believe. And Stewie, I need that card really bad. What could you do? Well, could we make out a deal or something? So he was a big Met fan. So I had some Met card extra doubles, of course. I wouldn't give my singles away. I wouldn't give no Mickey Mantle, no, none of that. I believe Willie Mays was card number 1. He wasn't getting any of those high number, nothing. It's Matt Renew. He's a common anyway. So what do you want from Matt Renew? He asked me, you got any Met guys? So these in the first series, this was what's in the Mets. It was these two and Ron Swoboda. And I only had one Ron Swoboda, but I had 2 of these. So it was Danny Napoleon and Gordon Richardson. And, 2 nobodies. I mean, look, Napoleon's not worth nothing. His cards, neither is Rich. They're not worth anything. I mean, neither is Renew. You'll see all the prices. Nothing's worth anything. It's worth, to me, was getting Merit Renew. So, Napoleon, brief career, 2 years with the Mets. This is his only baseball cards. This is his rookie and done. And he was out of baseball a couple years later. He never made it back. Went back to the minors. They traded him to the Cardinals, I believe, in '67. Never made it back to the majors. Danny Napoleon, I love the back cities too. They always had like a little trivia thing or question, little stats. I read everything, guys. I don't know if you guys do that anymore. I read everything back. I could tell you where everybody lived, had the height and weight. Gordon Richardson also. He actually had a pretty good 1 year in '64. He came up with the Cardinals, made it to the series with the Cardinals. Pitched in a couple games effective in relief. And after that year, the Cardinals shipped him off to the Mets for Johnny Lewis and I don't remember who else. But he was also out of baseball the next year, too. What's with these guys? They're young guys. They couldn't hang around, I guess. It was tough. It was only 16 teams, 20 teams at that point. But it was tough to stay in the league. And, these guys weren't making a lot of money back then. They're making $6,000, $7,000. They got a real job, That's what happened. So, finally, Stewie, can we do the deal? Done deal. Stewie here you go. Those are yours. I got Merit Renew. I never saw this card again. Probably to card shows, back in the early 80s. I would have never had another chance to get this card till 1980. Can you imagine that? Not have, one card I would have been short of the set until all that time. So I was able to complete the set. Of course, each series I wasn't able to complete. I was just able to complete the set over the years from 1980 on. I filled in, not a lot. Basically had almost every card, even the high number series. I had a lot of the high number series as well. So that's why I love the 66 set. It's dear to me. My 64 and 65 sets, I don't know where they are. I couldn't tell you. I really have no idea where they are. Probably, well, I know where they went. They went into the trash, so I know where they are. They're landfill somewhere, My baseball cards with everybody else's baseball cards are in the landfill back in Brooklyn somewhere. So that's how it goes, So that was the trade that made my day in 1966, and we're back in where are we? Oh, where am I? I'm still in the past. We're 2024 now. So this trade was 58 years ago. I made that trade with Stewie Grodzisky. You're out there somewhere. Thank you. So anyway, that's it for today's episode of Baseball King Collectibles. Come back, subscribe, like, all that stuff. Hit the bell, dislike, anything. Just come back. I'll see you soon.